Thank you very much for giving me the floor. For facilitating for funding gaps, I want to share some perspective from my side, which is the funding gaps significantly hinder African countries' ability to achieve the Sustainable Development Goal (SDGs) globally, and particularly the SDG 6. Because in my country in Africa and especially in my country, the the integrate the integrated water resource management is a crucial global issue requiring substantial resources. But addressing water scarcity contribute to the devastation of poor and vulnerable communities. It's important for us to implement innovative financing mechanism for SDG 6, including water funding that directly support community management in the local level. How we can mobilize the funding from the high level to the local level. That is the thing we have to think about and to see how to mobilize this funding from the high level to the local level to give the local community the ability to manage this funding on water and sanitation in the local level. And for that also, we have also to strengthen the governance of the local water community committees, including youth participation and vulnerable community. That is very important for us to see how we can implement, how we can engage more young people on this space, how the young people can contribute it on this space, and how those people like vulnerable people, which is the people in center of this program, they can really help to implement this program from the high level to the local level, including youth participation. We can also, in my country, the young people in my country are doing excellent work because we trying to involve at the national level of the water governance. A lot of people like young people, like women, in the local level. The young people in my country are doing a very great job on this space. They work to integrate water resource management by collecting water data. In this case, data is very important for us, and it will be helpful for those people who work in this sector. It will be elemental to help the donors to see what is the need and how they can best support these people, which is located at the local level. That is very important. We're trying to put the local communities in the center of our intervention in the Sahel region. From the high level to the local level, it's very important to see to have a very structured committee which is able to manage funding and to implement a sustainable project in the local level for local community. The young people from my country are doing a lot of things by creating community water points for community. That is very important to create a new water point for those who have to traveling are like a lot of kilometers to access water. That is very important to have some initiative to help these people to get a water point near their house, near their work. That is very important to strengthen this kind of collaboration with young people. That is very important, and this thing can be shared with other people in the continent to see how they can implement also and adapt on their context themselves. And the young people in my country are doing also a job about the best practice on water filtration. That is a very important and innovative system. That is how we can also try to put the local knowledge about water filtration in these spaces. We are trying also to document to have a book on how those communities in Mali, in the Sahel region, trying to have a best practice of in water filtration in the Sahel region. That is the case we can like sharing with those people who are interested. With our organization, the Network for Inclusive Development Sahel, we are facilitating access to drinking water for communities by creating manual and automatic water points with solar panels. That is very good, and that will help us to be very useful for those communities who need water. Uh, on that also, we are trying to do capacity building with the local water governance community to strengthen them to get the knowledge, to get the capacity to be more effective in their work respectively. And we are trying also on based our experiences, how we can also mobilize young people from the continent in Africa, and how we can focus the attention of the regional and international donor to support this mobilization funding gaps on SDG 6. I think from my side and from the Sahel region, to achieve this, the young people must create platform for collaboration, a very big platform, a continental platform for collaboration and synergy in their action. That will be help us to know from Mali, I'm doing something on water. From Senegal, someone doing something. That it will be very good to get a platform where we can share these experiences, where we can talk more about what we are doing in our context. That is very important and useful for us. For that also, we are trying also the young people can trying to teach themselves, to train and learn themselves on integrated water resource management and create a framework for sharing experience. That will be very useful for us. And also, we can also develop well developed strategy for young people, where young people can have a very good strategy to work with this strategy and they can advocate for donor to funding the SDGs. You know, from my side in the Sahel region, the SDGs is very important, and we need funding. We need funding in this context, a very difficult context. From my country, we have a lot of crises on SDG achievement, and also we have the challenges to achieve the SDGs. It will be very helpful to have some platform to share experiences, to help each other how we can mobilize funding. It will be helpful also to get an, an regional strategy to how to mobilize funding on SDGs. That will be great, and we can see how to share contact about this, and how we can write and draft a very good strategy to mobilize funding on SDGs. Thank you, Fahim, for giving me the floor. I think I can share more experiences about this. Thank you, Fahim.